So, hello everyone. Let's start our first important topic in biology, that is cells. Okay, so we are going to learn about cell and different organelles in cell and how each organelle is important and function different. So, different functions of different organelles we are going to learn in this topic. Okay, so why the cell is important? What's the function of cell? Okay, so cell is a basic unit or else called structural and functional unit of life. Structural and functional unit of life. So cell is a building block. Okay, like in non-living organism we speak about atom. Okay, so atom is a building block of anything. Okay, the same way here, living organism, the building block of living organism is cell. Okay, so each cell they divide and multiply. Okay, so these cells which get divided, they form groups. Okay, and this group of cells they form tissues, and group of tissues they form organ, and different organ they form organ system. And different organ system they form a living body. So to learn about living body, basically we are going to learn about the cell. It is very much important about we should know about cell, how the cell perform different function. Okay, because each cell is grouped and form different organ and organ system. So if you are learning about different organ system, you should know basically first about the cell. Okay, so study of cell is called cytology. Okay, cyto means cell, logy is a study of. So it's a branch of science which deals with cell. Okay, study of cell is called cytology. Okay, and who discovered the cell? Robert Hooke. The scientist name called Robert Hooke discovered the cell. Robert Hooke. Okay, so cell theory is given by Sheldon and Swan. Two scientists, they worked and mentioned that each organism has one or more cells. Okay, organism is made up of one or more cells. That theory is given by Sheldon and Swan scientist. Okay, then the cell, living cell. Who discovered the living cell? It's a very important question. Okay, who discovered the living cell? Anthony van Leeuwenhoek. Okay, Anthony van Leeuwenhoek is the name of the scientist. He discovered the living cell. And where he discovered? In onion. He found the living cell in onion. So this is again a very, very, very important point, that first living cell is discovered in onion. Okay, so and who discovered that? Anthony van Leeuwenhoek. Okay, so then what about the Robert Hooke? What he discovered? So he discovered the cell in cork. What is cork? The outer layer of plant. The outer covering of plant is called cork, which is made up of dead cells. It's a very hardest part of cell, we can say. It's the hardest part of cell, and there he found the cell. Okay, Robert Hooke. And about living cell, who explained? Anthony van Leeuwenhoek. Okay, then now few more important points about cell. Okay, you have to remember, like which is the largest cell in universe. The questions generally asked in exams which are very much important that I am going to discuss now. Okay, the largest cell in universe. Many a times this question was asked. Largest cell in universe. Okay, the largest cell is ostrich egg. Ostrich egg. Okay, ostrich is the largest bird. You might have heard, right? So ostrich egg is a largest cell in universe. Okay, and smallest cell is bacteria. Okay, so but which bacteria, the name you have to remember. So there are different bacteria. Okay, the which bacteria is the smallest one? Mycoplasma gallispectum. Okay, Mycoplasma gallispectum is a bacteria which has a smallest cell. Okay, this bacteria is made of smallest cell. Okay, this is again very important point. Then the largest cell in human body. Which is the largest cell in human body? Let's see. Largest cell in human body is nerve cell. Nerve cell. Nerve cell is also called neuron. Okay, nerve cell is also called neuron. Okay, so largest cell in human body is nerve cell. Okay, and the smallest one in human body. We are speaking only with human. Okay, about human. So in human body, the smallest cell is RBC. Okay, so what is RBC? Red blood cells. Red blood cells. And where they found? In blood. They are found in blood. Right? So RBC are the smallest cell. Okay. One more important question which was asked many times is the smallest gamete cell. Smallest gamete cell is sperm. Sperm is the smallest gamete cell. Okay, so you have to remember all these points about the cell. The largest cell in universe is ostrich egg. Okay, ostrich egg is the largest cell in whole universe. Okay, and the smallest cell is bacteria. Which bacteria? Mycoplasma gallispectum. Okay, then the largest cell in human body is nerve cell. Nerve cell is the largest cell and smallest cell is RBC. Okay, if they ask smallest gamete cell, it is called sperm. Okay, you have to mention sperm. Sperm is the smallest gamete cell. Now, let's see different organelles in cell. Okay, how the cell is made of. Okay, and about each organelle, how it functions. Okay, that we are going to learn now. Now, let's see different parts of cell. Okay, so now here I am going to explain a common cell. I am not specifying animal or a plant cell. A common cell I am going to speak about. Okay, so let's see the outer layer is called cell wall. The outermost layer is called cell wall. Cell wall is present only in plants. Only in plants. So it's the hardest part of cell. Which one is the hardest part of cell? Cell wall is the hardest part. Okay, and cell wall is found only in plants. And what about animals? Cell membrane. The outermost layer of cell is called cell membrane. Outermost layer of cell. Which is the outermost layer of cell? Cell membrane. So cell membrane is present in both plants as well as in animals. Okay, so what's the function of cell wall or cell membrane? It protects the inner organelles. It protects the inner different cellular material, different cell organelles. Okay, it protects the inner whatever the different organelles are present in cell. Okay, that is protected by the cell membrane. Okay, so that is how the outer covering is called cell membrane. Then the liquid part which is present in cell, okay, it is called cytoplasm. The liquid part inside the cell is called cytoplasm. Okay, then the center part, the middle part, the center part is called nucleus. Nucleus is a center part and the largest part of cell. This you have to remember. Largest part of cell. Which one is the largest part of cell? Nucleus is a largest part of cell. Okay, so nucleus has outer covering again. Okay, nucleus is protected by outer membrane called nuclear membrane. Nuclear membrane. So outermost layer of nucleus is called nuclear membrane. Okay, and then the liquid which is present inside the nucleus is called nucleoplasm. Nucleoplasm. The word plasm means liquid. Okay, wherever you see the word plasm means liquid. Okay, so the liquid which is present inside the nucleus is called nucleoplasm. Okay, and the middle, the largest part of cell is nucleus. Largest part of cell is nucleus. Okay, and it is covered with a membrane called nuclear membrane. And the liquid which is present in nucleus is called nucleoplasm. The word plasm means liquid. Whenever you see the word plasm, it means liquid. Okay, nucleoplasm is a liquid which is present in nucleus. Okay, then the middlemost part, this center part is called nucleolus. Nucleolus. Okay, and this nucleolus is made up of nucleic acid. Nucleic acid. So let's learn about what is nucleic acid, what are the different types, okay, and their function. So now let's learn about nucleus. So nucleus is called brain of the cell. Nucleus is called brain of the cell or the manager of the cell. Both the same. Okay, the question like you may get, the brain of a cell called. Okay, so nucleus is called the brain of a cell, or a manager of a cell is also same. Nucleus is the manager of cell. Okay, who discovered the nucleus? Robert Brown. Robert Brown discovered the nucleus. Okay, and the nucleus, as I told you, it is made up of the outer layer called nuclear membrane, inside liquid is called nucleoplasm, and the middle part is called nucleolus, and the nucleolus contains a nucleic acid. So what are the nucleic acid contents? So nucleic acid mainly contains of DNA and RNA. Okay, so nucleic acid contains DNA and RNA. DNA and RNA. So what DNA stands for? DNA stands for deoxyribonucleic acid. Deoxyribonucleic acid. DNA stands for deoxyribonucleic acid and RNA stands for ribonucleic acid. Ribonucleic acid. Okay, DNA and RNA both are present in nucleolus, okay, in the form of nucleic acid. So DNA and RNA, the full DNA stands for deoxyribonucleic acid and RNA stands for ribonucleic acid. So now let's see what's the difference and their functions about DNA and RNA. Okay, so let's see the difference between DNA and RNA and simultaneously how they function. Okay, so DNA stands for deoxyribonucleic acid, as I told you. Okay, and it's a double helix structure. Okay, each strand, like this is called helix. Okay, it's a double helix. It has two helix. Okay, and they form the structure like this. This is called double helix structure. Okay, so this model of DNA is given by Watson and Crick. Watson and Crick were the scientists who given the structure of this DNA. Okay, then what about RNA? RNA is a single helix. Okay, you can draw it this way or this way. It's a single strand, single helix structure. This model about the RNA is given by Frederick and Michel were the scientists who has given the structure of this DNA. Okay, so we have to remember the double structure helix. Okay, this model of DNA is given by Watson and Crick. Okay, these are the scientists. And about RNA, the single helix structure, this model is given by Frederick and Michel. So important, the scientist's name you have to remember. Okay, then what are the other differences between RNA and DNA? This is the first point. It's a double helix structure and it's a single helix structure. Okay, this is the first point. Let's see. So where they are available? DNA are present in nucleus. Okay, where they are present, DNA and also RNA, they are present in nucleus. But apart from nucleus, where they find? Apart from nucleus, they found also in mitochondria. So mitochondria is another cell organelle. Okay, so mitochondria has its own DNA. It's a very, very, very important point. Apart from nucleus, which cell organelle has its own DNA? Okay, so which cell organelle has its own DNA? Mitochondria. Mitochondria has its own DNA. Okay, then what about RNA? RNA is also present in cytoplasm. It is also present in cytoplasm. Okay, so functions, I'll let you know. Okay, so next difference is how the structure of DNA it is made up of. Okay, as I told you, it's a double helix structure, but how the structure is made up, with what material? So it's a nitrogenous based. Okay, nitrogenous based molecules made this DNA structure. So what are the different nitrogenous based molecules? So those are A, T, C, G. A stands for adenine, T stands for thymine, C stands for cytosine, and G for guanine. Okay, so these molecules are these nitrogenous based molecules are present in structure of DNA, and these molecules are bound with the hydrogen bond. They are bound with hydrogen bond. This very, very, very important point, that molecules of nitrogenous based molecules are bound with which bond? That what is the name of that bond? So it is hydrogen bond. Okay, so A stands for adenine. Okay, T stands for thymine. So always A stands with bonds with thymine. Adenine bonds with thymine. It's a double bond. Here it is double hydrogen bond. So with double hydrogen bond, adenine is bond with thymine. Okay, then cytosine always bound with guanine. Okay, here it is triple bond. Okay, so C with G, always C goes with G. C for cytosine and G for guanine. So here it is triple bond, and A and T has a double bond. Which bond? Hydrogen bond. Okay, then let's see about the RNA. RNA, again the same, A for adenine. Okay, the only difference here you have U, that is uracil. U stands for uracil. C again the same, cytosine, and G for guanine. C cytosine and G for guanine. So A always bound with U, that is uracil. Okay, adenine always bound with uracil with same hydrogen bond. Here also hydrogen double bond. Hydrogen double bond. What is double bond and triple bond? Already you might have learned in chemistry, right? So hydrogen double bond, and here C with G, that is cytosine with guanine, is a triple bond. Again hydrogen triple bond. Okay, this is how the nitrogenous based molecules are bound, okay, in the structure of DNA and RNA. Right. So now let's see the different functions of DNA and RNA. So DNA is a genetic material. So what is DNA? It's a genetic material. DNA is called genetic material, and RNA is a protein synthesis. Protein synthesizer, you can say. So RNA helps in protein synthesis. Ribos are nothing but protein. Ribo, the word ribo means protein. Okay, so it helps in the synthesis, protein synthesis. Okay, that's a main difference between DNA and RNA. DNA consists of genetic material, and RNA, it synthesizes protein. Okay, so how different genetic material are present in DNA and how are different types of RNA? Let's see.